Hi, my name is Gourmet. If you've never seen my face before, I am usually a retail WoW streamer. The only times I've really played Classic was last year when OnlyFangs was a thing around the same time of year. So I'm a streamer who lives in Austin, and so when that was all starting, I got invited as one of the first people when we had like that very first guild meeting. I didn't realize how big and how crazy it was gonna get, but I'm so happy I was there because it was so much fun. Before that, I didn't really have a lot of interest in playing Classic. Like, yeah, I played a little bit when I was younger, but back then I didn't take it that seriously, and I didn't really feel like going back through the leveling process because it's usually slow and boring. But doing it with OnlyFans was so much fun, and I'm so excited to do it again. Last time when I did it though, I had so much going on with retail at the same time that by the time I made it to 60, I didn't really get to get attuned and raid in time just because I was raiding on retail at the same time because there's a new tier. But this time, there's absolutely nothing in my way, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to dedicate as much time as I can to getting to 60 and actually getting to raid this time. Hopefully, if I can get a spot. So we just had our first big guild meeting this past Wednesday following the Warcraft Direct video that they put out where they announced hardcore fresh servers. So we had delayed OnlyFans because we were suspecting they were going to announce fresh servers, but the big thing that caused a lot of like hullabaloo was the fact that they are progression servers, meaning that it's going to take 3 weeks for Molten Core to get released, and I think like a few months after that in order for BWL to release. And everybody was basically in debate whether it was worth going on these new progression servers where we would be stuck in Molten Core for so long.
Molten Core for 2 months. It's boring after the first or second time. It is. And we will be stuck doing that with nothing else to do for 2 months. And then
it's
BWL
less boring when the
release.
gear matters, though, and we're not going to have AQZG gear, right? So
I mean, I guess, but
it's boring.
Like,
It's
you
still
don't
gonna
have
be
to-
boring and easy.
Okay,
to
fine.
be fair, that's kind of just what WoW is.
then it
Right.
sucks.
That's
I
kind of
know.
my
WoW sucks.
Yeah, but in the end, we just decided we're just gonna go on the new servers and just hope something magical happens and we can fill in that content anyways, because going back on the old servers isn't that great. We're also changing up this time and doing something called Guild Solo Self-Founds. If you watched this last time, you probably remember there's a lot of gold buying and mob tagging. I didn't get any of that because I'm a small nobody and nobody cared to do that for me. But a lot of the bigger streamers got to do that, and so they had a big advantage. So this time we're doing something called Guild Solo Self-Found.
To do something new. Solo self-found is too boring for our guild. I don't want us to not be able to interact with each other. So we're going to do guild self-found. It's the same thing, but you can only interact with the guild. And this is even going to carry on to level 60. It will not turn off.
Basically, it means that we can't go out and just get like the free big enchants that kind of carry you, or get all like the engineering items that make everything easier. It means that we're actually going to have to do our own professions this time instead of just relying on gold donations and buying everything. So that's definitely gonna be interesting. They're also gonna be like discouraging like mob tagging and stuff like that, and you'll get in trouble, yada yada. Outside of that, after that big debate, which lasted like an hour or something, then we finally got into what was supposed to be the main highlight of the meeting, which was our race quizzes. So this time around, we do not get to pick which race we play. We're also playing Horde this time instead of Alliance, which is supposed to be harder because then we don't have Salve, which helps reduce threat from the Paladin. And also there's elevators in the Horde cities, which get everybody killed. But yeah, we don't get to pick what race we play, but once we get our race assigned to us, then we do get to pick what class we get to play. So the way that we get assigned our race is we take this kind of like personality quiz. Where would I like to live? Wherever I can carve a place in the world. Travel and roam, adapt to any surrounding. Definitely A. I don't like traveling. We're also kind of having an interguild competition between the different races with a point system.
We're going to talk about the point system for races.
Crosses.
There are going to be points. So there will be, you know, the winning race and the losing.
So basically at the end of every week, you want to make sure that you're the race that has the most points instead of the least points, and there's rewards and there's punishments.
The losing race every single week will have to spin a punishment wheel. And maybe 5 people will have to endure random punishments. Whether it be you have to order a fucking lunchly and blend it and drink it on stream.
So after we took our quizzes, it took like up to an hour to find out which race we got. And I was kind of on the edge of my seat because I kind of like knew what I wanted and what I didn't. I don't like most of the Horde models. I like Undead the best and I like Tauren the least. I also kind of like Troll, so it's kind of like, if I go to those, I'll be happy. If I get Orcs, they at least have nice cast animations. But Tauren was kind of like, it has the least amount of choices, and I really don't like the models. So I was like, I'm really hoping I don't get Tauren. It also like by design, the way they did the race selection, they made Taurens have the least amount of people total because it has the least amount of classes total. Like Taurens can only be like hunter, warrior, shaman, druid. So they don't want to make too many people be Tauren, and it also means that like your team in the guild has the least amount of people, which means it's the worst. So naturally, when they called my name, I'm a Tauren, and I was like, okay, I just gotta try and take like the underdog route a tiny bit. So I'm thinking I'm probably either going to be a shaman or a druid. I'm leaning towards druid right now, just because I think there's going to be a lot more shamans spread out, because Taurens are the only ones that can be druid, so it makes sense to maybe just lean into being druid, because the spots in the guild are going to be super competitive, because there's so many people, 170 people just in that meeting, and there's only 40 raid spots, and they're basically just taking the most popular streamers, and I'm a nobody. So I don't have a great chance, so I'm thinking maybe there's a slight chance that I could be the Mark of the Wild if the other Mark of the Wild, something tragic happens to them along the way. So that's gonna be my play, that's my plan right now, but I also might still end up choosing Shaman. I haven't quite decided. Although I'm so excited, the absolute best part is just leveling and having so many other like fun, energetic people around. Like I love playing retail, but playing in that kind of environment is so much more exciting and different, even though Classic is honestly a lot slower. I'm a little bit nervous too, just because definitely the beginning of Hardcore last time, I died a few times, I'll admit. So I'm hoping this time I've learned my lesson and I'll play a bit slower. Also, I think Druid is supposed to be a little bit easier than Warlock is, based on the stats for like people getting to 60, so I'm hoping that actually gives me a little bit of an edge. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll be streaming everything on Twitch. I'll mostly be streaming late at night because I am battling my ISP still in this apartment before I move. And I'll also be posting an update here on YouTube, so make sure you follow. Bye.